started this vlog yet and I've already finished one book. It's Monday, December 23rd, and the book that I was talking about is Nettle and Bone by Kingfisher. I picked up this audiobook yesterday thinking I would have a time to read just like a little bit and then I would talk about it today when I started this vlog. I finished it so quickly. I enjoyed this so much. As much as I enjoyed A Sorceress Comes to Call, I enjoyed this one. This is like a darker like fairy tale. I don't think it's necessarily a retelling because I can't think of a fairy tale that it's like similar to, but like the synopsis of this says like this is not a fairy tale where the princess marries the prince. It's the one where she kills him, which is basically what happens in this book. And I enjoyed it so much. I liked the like adventure that she goes on, the people that she meets, and it was just a whimsical but at the same time dark atmosphere fairy tale, and I enjoyed it so much. I do think Kingfisher just has like a knack for this type of writing and it really works for me. I ended up giving this one 4.5 stars, and I am definitely excited to see what else Kingfisher has to offer because she's slowly becoming a new favorite author of mine. In this book in particular, we're following the character of Mara, who is the third daughter of the king of the, I think the Southern Kingdom or the Middle Kingdom. And the king of the Northern Kingdom has a son who marries her eldest sister, and her sister dies like not too long afterwards. So then her second sister gets married to the king, and she does not have a son. She has a daughter for the first time, and then she has like a bunch of miscarriages. And by this time, Mara has become a nun because if her sister doesn't have a son for the prince, is going to need another wife. So she's a nun so that she doesn't get a son by someone else and potentially creates a rival for the throne. But also she's kind of left in preserve, if you know what I mean. When she visits her sister having her first child, the sister kind of like warns her against this, which I think was great. Mara eventually decides to go on this journey, this quest to try and kill the prince who at this time has become king. So basically it has like no checks to his power. I will say she read a little young to me because she's supposed to be like 30 at that time, and she felt similar to Cordelia from A Sorceress Comes to Call, who's like kind of naive and sheltered, and that's how Mara felt to me. I mean, she was in a nunnery, so obviously she is sheltered, but at the same time she is very naive. I don't necessarily love her as a character, but I liked her journey, so it was a fun book. I'm also in a couple of different books. I have, I think, one for each medium: audiobook, an ebook, and a physical book. So my physical book, you guys probably already know this, Bone Doll's Twin by Lynn Flewelling. I have made a lot of progress. I'm about halfway through it now. I do hope to finish it this week. I've been enjoying this so much, but I do have other physical books that I want to get to. I think I can read half a book in the week, and so far, really good. Super dark. This is about Tobin, who is a princess, but she was made to look like a boy so that she won't anger her uncle, who is the king. There was a prophecy basically that there should always be a queen in this land, keep the land prosperous, but he did not let his sister, who was 7 years old at the time, ascend the throne. He ascended it instead. So Tobin is like the rightful queen. He's obviously right now is not pretending to be a boy. As far as she knows, she's a boy. I'm just so excited to see what happens when that comes to light. But in order to make her look like a boy, they had to kill her twin brother. And now he's a demon that haunts the place where she lives. And it's great. And I love every second of this so far. So I'm enjoying this a lot and I'm excited to see how it ends. Then for my ebook, I am still reading The Outcast Mage by Annabell Campbell. I'm about 15% of the way into it, so not super far. This is, I believe, a debut novel. It's following a girl named Nyla who is in the mage school because she got tested as a mage and she has to learn control before they'll let her leave the mage school, but she hasn't shown any ability to do any kind of magic. No power has manifested for her, even though she is a mage. So she's kind of called the hollow mage because the people without magic are called hollows because they don't have like magic inside of them because they're hollow. And there's some political intrigue here because the mage school is inside of a city full of people who are non-magical, and there is some tensions there. So far I'm enjoying this quite a bit, but I don't have too much to say on it. And then for my audiobook, I did pick up My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. So this is the first book in the Neapolitan series, which I believe is like contemporary, maybe kind of historical fiction. It's following the friendship of two people, Elena and Lila. They grew up in a small town in Italy and they're quite impoverished when they grew up. But at the beginning of the novel, Lila goes missing and they're like in their 60s. They're like on the older side. And Elena and Lila are not really close anymore, but Lila goes missing. So Elena is like writing this story of her brilliant friend. So then she writes starting when they were really young. So far it's been quite intriguing. Leela in particular seems to be a little feisty and fiery, but Elena like kind of follows her lead a lot, and I'm enjoying it. It's just a fun time. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I've heard that it gets very emotional, and this series has been considered like one of the best series that's written. I don't remember which one, but one of the books was on like the New York Times like best books of the century. So I'm really excited to see where this is going. So far, I'm really enjoying it though. It's Monday, December 30th, and I did finish My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. So this book was so interesting the entire time, but I feel like also at the same time, like nothing happened in it. It's like literary fiction at its finest, I think, because I enjoyed this thoroughly. It's very character driven, and it's following these two friends who grew up in Italy, and I feel like you get to know them so well and how driven they are, and they don't make the best decisions. You see their mindset and like how they make those decisions. They're not the nicest people. They're definitely morally ambiguous at times, and I loved it so much. I did give it 4 stars. We'll see if some of the later novels I end up liking more than this one, but this one, nothing kind of really happened, though I enjoyed the adventures that these two girls went on. Because I finished that, I did need to pick up a new audiobook, so I decided to pick up Next Time This Year by Sophie Cousens. I just felt like I needed something super light because I have a lot going on right now, and since it's like almost the New Year's, I felt like it was a good time to pick up this book because I feel like there are a lot of books that are in like the Christmas time, but not a whole lot that are in specifically the New Year's time. And this book is about a character named Minnie Cooper, actually is her name, which just, let's not go there. And she was born on January 1st, and she just has very bad luck with January 1st. But there was another person born at the same time as her, whose name is Quinn, who kind of stole her name. And it seems like he kind of stole her luck also, because he seems a lot better off than she is, and they meet at a party. Well, not really at the party. She kind of gets locked in the bathroom and he lets her out after the party's over, but they meet for the first time like many years after they were born, obviously, and I feel like it could be a fun kind of like rom-com vibes for the end of the year, and I'm excited to see where it's going. I also did start my reread of Fourth Wing, and it's not going the best, but I'm cautiously optimistic for it. I'm not going to talk about it too much in this vlog because I am doing a full like spoiler reading vlog just for this book. So it is Tuesday, December 31st. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but I did start Dawnshard by Sanderson last week, which I did say I was gonna do. I just finished it and I enjoyed it so much. This is actually probably my favorite of like his short stories, or I guess novellas, not really short stories. It was like almost the size of a full-length novel, but just compared to like the actual like series, it's a lot shorter. So that's why I think of it as a novella. I enjoyed this a lot. It was really good. I think, one, I like the character that I was following, which was Risen, and also the story was very interesting to me. One, I like anything on the high seas, and this was, I mean, it's not really that, but it was kind of like that, and it actually reminded me of a scene from The Realm of the Elderlings, and like, that just made me like it more. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I like where the world building went in this particular one, so really excited to get to Rhythm of War. I'm probably gonna pick it up very soon. So it is January 1st, and I have been enjoying the weather a lot. It's not that much cooler, but at least later in the day it does get cooler, which I have been enjoying quite a bit. Yesterday I did finish This Time Next Year by Sophie Cousens. It's a cute little romantic contemporary. I enjoyed it a lot. It was perfect for the season. It did get into like some deeper things. I like the relationships in this book, both the romantic one and the friendship relationship was very interesting as well. So I enjoyed that a lot. So I ended up giving it 4 stars. I do have a little bit of a tradition that on the first of the year, I start and finish a book on the same day. So I decided to pick up I Who Have Never Known Men by Jaqueline. This is a book about a character who grows up in a bunker with 39 other women. They have no idea why they're being held in the bunker, so this is why it's the title I Who Have Never Known Men, because she's never really known any men before, and one day they get out. Kind of like the basics of this book, but it's super fascinating. I really like the main character and her like mindset and how she thinks. I find really fascinating, so I'm really excited to see where this is going. I'm about halfway through it now, right about there, so I'll definitely be able to finish this by the end of the day, and I'm really excited about it. I hope you all had a really great new year. So it's January 2nd, and I did finish I Who Have Never Known Men by Jaqueline Harpman. This book is interesting. When I finished it yesterday, I didn't really know what to think because it was quite horrifying at times, and I think what made me really love this book is that the characters felt so real. The author is quite brilliant in that respect. I will say I don't think this is really meant for like sci-fi readers, if that makes sense. I think it's really meant more for like literary literary fiction readers, and I think I likened it a little bit to like The Handmaid's Tale in a previous video, and I feel like this is nothing like The Handmaid's Tale. Like, this is nothing like any book that I've ever read before. There's a dystopian type of future, and it's really trying to like say something about our potential future, except I'm not sure what this was trying to say. I didn't love it from that aspect. It's very open-ended, but yet I was still super drawn to this book while I was reading it. I still really don't know what to think about this book. Maybe I'll have to do a reread on it. I didn't use any tabs, but I did have a lot of times where I was like underlining like sections. Like, I have a lot of underlines in this book. So, I mean, there was a lot going on. I think what I liked the most about this book was just like the mindset of the main character, how she thought and how she developed. When we start the book, she's actually a child, or rather she's an adult thinking back to when she was a child. I think that was quite interesting. I feel like I wanted a little bit more from the book than I got. I feel like it was a little too open-ended for me, so that's why I ended up giving it 4 stars. In case you're wondering, yes, I am struggling a little bit right now with reading. I did pick up an audiobook, Can't Spell Tea Without Treason by Rebecca Thorne, and I ended up putting it down because I could not read it. It was an audiobook too. It's very rare that I DNF audiobooks, but I was just like, I am not feeling it. I don't think it was anything to do with the book. I think it was 100% me. I just wasn't there for the cozy fantasy right now. I ended up picking up Rhythm of War on audio instead, and I'm enjoying Rhythm of War. So I'm happy that I'm enjoying Rhythm of War, but I had really wanted to read the physical book, but right now, no other audiobooks just feel good to me. So that's why I'm sticking with what I know I'll end up liking. We'll see what else I end up reading this week. My last vlog, I finished like 6 books in 1 week. It's been like 3 weeks. This vlog is on its 3rd week now, and I'm still trying to finish a few books. So it's a little bit of a slog, but I expect to get a little bit more time this weekend, and hopefully I'll be in a better mindset. It's Sunday, January 5th, and I finally finished The Bone Dolls Twin by Lynn Flewelling. There's one particular thing I've been waiting to happen for this entire book, and it happened in the last 5 pages. So it was kind of like a little bit of a cliffhanger because I didn't get any of the fallout of the thing that happened, but I was still quite satisfied with how this book ended because kind of not really expecting that to actually end up happening in this book. Like, I kind of thought that maybe that was like a book 2 thing that was gonna happen just based off of how long it took for it to happen. So like, if that hadn't have happened, I think I probably would have been a bit unsatisfied with the book, but since it did happen, I found this book quite satisfying. I enjoyed it so much. It's super dark. It's definitely set in like a high fantasy world because there are like wizards and things like that I find incredibly interesting. The main magic that's explored in this is necromancy, which is like not normal. I feel like people don't explore necromancy very much in fantasy because it's kind of considered like dark arts kind of, or dark magic, and like it is dark magic. It absolutely is, but it's done so well in here, and at times this book almost felt like a horror novel. So I love everything about this book. I'm giving it 4.5 stars. It might go up if I end up liking the rest of the series, but for now I'm leaving it at 4.5 stars, but it was a solidly great book so far. I will be picking up the next 2 books in the series, hopefully sometime soon. I have a lot of books that I'm super excited for, so I don't know if I'm gonna get to them right away, but I will definitely be picking them up. That being said, since I do have so many books that I'm super excited for, I have not made any progress with the Outcast Mage in like 2 weeks, so I think for now I'm gonna put it on pause. I'm gonna wait until I finish my backlog of like ebooks that I'm super excited for, and then I'm gonna come back to this one. I'm not enjoying this one. I am enjoying it. It's just not what I'm in the mood for anymore, and I have a lot of other books that I'm just more in the mood for, so I'm just gonna let this one come back to me when I will be able to do better justice to this book. That is all I have for you. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. I have a goal of posting at least 1 video a week in 2025, so please consider subscribing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.